I'm Jordan Mechner. I'm a writer and game designer. I did a game called Prince of Persia and one before that called Karateka. I was in high school when I got my first Apple II computer. That's what really got me into game design. Before that, I liked to draw cartoons, make little animated movies, write stories. I started programming games in BASIC, and then taking games that were on cassette and trying to change them to make them different. From there, I kind of went to making my own games that got more and more ambitious, and finally culminated in Karateka, which was my first published game. Well, the cool thing for me about making games back in high school was that it was kind of a way to tell a story, to create a world that was within the reach of, a 15-year-old like me. To think that 25 years later, the games that I made then would still be played and remembered, much less turn into movies and Legos, would have been beyond my powers to imagine. The inspiration to make a game can really come from a lot of places. With Prince of Persia, I was inspired by games like Lode Runner and Castles of Dr. Creep that had a really strong puzzle-solving element, but also by movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark with the running and jumping over spike pits and things like that. So combining those two things, plus the inspiration of the world of the Arabian Nights, that was really how the game began. One fun thing about making games is that you can put all your friends in them. My brother did the running and jumping for the original version of Prince of Persia, and other friends and colleagues around the office took the parts of various characters. These days, of course, with motion capture, you can actually put the likeness of people that you know in the game, so that's fun too. I have never put myself deliberately into a game, but I have been told on certain games that the programmers put me in without my knowledge as an Easter egg, that if you play a certain way, you can unlock that. Well, we all play games from childhood, don't we? Of course, the games I played as a kid were easy board games and card games, Monopoly, Careers, Life. In the 70s and 80s, when video games came in, coin-op games like Asteroids and Space Invaders, that kind of opened up a whole new world for me. But then the idea that you could tell a story with a game too, and have movie-like storylines and characters and moments that you felt like you were living in the game. That was very exciting. When it comes to actually winning, I'm not much of a gamer. I like playing games, and when it comes to video games, I like games that are fairly easy. I've just published a book, and it's actually one that I wrote 20 years ago. It's the journals that I kept while I was making Prince of Persia on the Apple II when I was right out of college. So it's sort of a developer diary from the past. Of all the games I've done, there's one that I did back in the 90s called The Last Express. It's set on the Orient Express in 1914, and that was a real labor of love. It was a big project, artistically very ambitious, and of all my games, it's the one that maybe didn't have the same exposure as Karateka or Prince of Persia, but it's one that's very close to my heart, and especially fond of that one. Gaming is a lifelong thing.